Welcome everyone to the Minecraft Hardcore Challenge for February 2019, where this month's theme is One and Done. What does one and done mean? It means that we are expected to make one copy of as many items as possible, and we are only allowed to make more than one copy of an item if you could either A, do it without resorting to the 3x3 crafting table, in other words, something that you can do inherently with your default 2x2 one, or if it's used for the purpose of being a component of another item. So for example, you could execute the paper recipe once, but if you needed to make a book, you could execute the paper recipe again in order to make a book, and you could still keep the original paper you made from the first time you executed the recipe. The idea here is that we are to eventually count how many items we managed to create over the course of the month and see how well we did. I'm not too keen on ones that discuss keeping scores and stuff like that. I think the MHC has rarely does that these days, and personally I think that's probably just as well, because I don't think it's too much of a competitive situation. I think the early MHCs were a little bit on the competitive side to have a winner and stuff like that. I'm not too keen on that matter here, but we do have the matter of surviving and seeing if we could at least maybe get 100 or something like that different items made. I don't know how many would be good for this month. Now let's see, speaking of, might as well take my first little piece there. Now I can make as many of items that can be, as I said, done with the inherent table. Fine. I just can't make multiples of anything that requires the 3x3 table. Now, because of the nature of crafting tables allowing you to do the 3x3 table, you're also only allowed to do one crafting table. Now, we are allowed to do something that is of one material and then do it again on a different material. So I could make a wooden pickaxe, then I could make a stone pickaxe, I can make an iron pickaxe, I can make one diamond pickaxe, but of course I could very easily run out of pickaxes unless I find some means of, let's see, what do we have here? Oh, okay, so that's an oak sapling. Actually, if I can get some apples here, that would be nice, but, well, we're not always going to get nice. Let's see. Now, since I am going to have to create as many items as possible, this might be one of those situations where it's definitely going to be productive to make as many tools as possible. Actually, let me try this, because we want to preserve the oak for now, since that's my rare item. Alright, there's going to be our pickaxe. We'll use that later when we enter into a mine. And hopefully we get some cobble very quickly when I start to do that. Okay, good. And since we want as much of a variety of stuff as possible, we'll also make a shovel. Even though I don't normally make a wooden shovel, then I might as well also make, how about a wooden sword? I mean, very rarely do I worry about making a wooden sword, but in this case I do. Let's see, what tool am I missing here? Oh, of course. Oh. And those are the 5 that I could think of. We'll start with wooden versions of that. Maybe overnight I could make a few more on that. If I've got a wooden axe, I might as well use it. There we go. Now, that gives us a score of 5 so far. Now we have 8 episodes. And so if I got... Obviously I have to take this with me because if we're only allowed to make one, we're not going to be able to do very well if we destroy the only one we've... leave the only one we've got elsewhere. There's an old joke in the MHCs on how many crafting tables you can make. But since crafting tables are explicitly said despite not needing the crafting table to make, circular logic there, obviously, is that you will only get one of those. There you go. Now this is the February MHC. Now some of you may be wondering, okay, what is the MHC? That is the Minecraft Hardcore Challenge. This is played in hardcore mode. We post on Mondays and Friday of every Monday and Friday of each month, so therefore the number of episodes depends on the number of Mondays and Fridays. And this being February and not being a leap year, the number we have is obviously going to be 4. Most other months there could be sometimes, I mean 8, not 4. But most other months is generally 9, but of course occasionally 8 on those. We would have maybe 3 or 4 times a year we'll have one that's going to have... Okay, I guess it's maybe not 3 or 4. I have to keep track on that matter. Yeah, a few times a year we will have only 8, but the general number is 9. But as I said, this is February, and you could probably guess that we are only going to have 8 for this month. There you go. And let's see when last set of this. Now, how's the sun doing? The sun is starting to head down. I guess that should be no surprise. Anything with sand? I'll worry about the sandstone and stuff like that later on. Now, I am going to need a furnace. Actually, what I'm going to need is a nice place to call home. And what would be good? Probably into the hill, because I do like to go into hills. Oh yes, we aren't allowed to kill passive mobs or anything like that. That's one of the rules that we have here. Now, if a mob dies on its own, then we are allowed to use the drop, but we aren't allowed to... Oh, boats. Yes, boats are a thing. Since I don't need to cross the water right now, I'm not going to worry about crafting a boat, but we could craft some boats when we are inside, probably. Now, we're not allowed to kill the fish, the mob version of the fish, but we are allowed to fish with a pole. It's a weird distinction that probably only exists because of old traditions in the MHC. Now, let's see what we do. That's quite a tree there. Trying to see what's the best thing. Now, these squid, for example, if they beach themselves and drop their ink sacs, I can use the ink sac in that case. But if they... But I can't go and kill them. So that's sort of rule. As for eating meat, you can't eat the meat of any passive mobs, regardless of how they died. So the rule is a little bit stricter on the eating side. There you go, and there you go. Right? Alright, and we might as well get as much of this as possible. I'm not too sure what we'll be doing with it yet, but I at least can make paper and stuff like that. Now, of course, making a book will be difficult because no leather, unless you fish or something like that. Well, I probably have to make a fishing pole at some point, and actually I have to get inside at some point. And I probably have to be careful about running too much, because running in the MHC is usually not a good idea, because if you run, you use up your energy faster. There you go, and now let's dig in for the night. I'll need 8 of these if I'm going to make a furnace. And I like to make a side room right here. And the side room is very often where I put things. This is going to become my base. I'm going to have to mark it somehow so that I don't lose it, because I'm very good at losing things, and I forgot to turn on my coordinates program this month. Well, I'll have to do that between episodes, because without the coordinates program, I'm probably definitely going to get lost a bit. There you go. There you go. There is our furnace. That is number 6. Plop. Let's see. We want to... Ooh, what's the best thing to do right now? Let's say... Let's use that as fuel. And we could put that there. We could do some... Ooh. Let's see, some oak doors. Now, actually, it's one execution of the recipe is what the rule calls for. So therefore, you could do a door. You can get 3 doors because one execution of the recipe does it, gives you 3 doors. All right, there you go. For now, we'll do 2 of these. Oh, duh. That's now. Fortunately, torches. Torches don't require the crafting table. Otherwise, we'd be in a lot of trouble. There you go. Ah, nice and visible. I believe that Max Rider and Scotty did a variant of this, of which this is based on, except the rules were even stricter there. So if you are someone who watched their series back in the past, then just know that we have stronger dietary restrictions in this one, and we're in hardcore. I don't know what mode they did theirs in. But they used to have rules, I think, involved in what you could cook and not cook and stuff like that. So it was a lot stronger in that regard. And, oh boy. Oh, let's see. I think it's time to get ourselves a stone pickaxe. Good. And let's throw in a chest, since we can have 1 chest. That way we could put in some things that we don't need. Instead, this is going to become our de facto base as a result of that. I think some people are thinking that maybe they should keep moving, but I figure that it might be better for us if we just go around and... there you go. If we stay near in one area. Now, it depends on whether you want more materials, because if someone wants to find some different types of trees to expand what they get, then moving is a good idea there. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's avoid those creepers that sometimes pop into places. Not much of a cave, but it's a start, and it'd be nice to get some coal. Now, I think you can get coal out of a... Yeah, okay, you can get coal out of wooden pickaxe. Good. Now, of course, this is a little bit slow doing it with a wooden pickaxe. Some people are wondering, do you use up your old tools just quickly to save your regular ones, or do you work on your best tools first so you can get through faster? Different philosophies are going to be done all through the place. But with the wooden one, I don't see any good reason to preserve it. Now, I suppose there's an argument you can make about using it for fire or something. Hey, can you do diorite on here? Yes, you can do diorite on there. Nothing I can think of too much you can do with diorite, at least under this version of Minecraft. We are running this on 1.13.2. We are not using snapshots or anything like that because you'd have to make all sorts of ruling. Well, first of all, if you use the later version, you've got the advantage of additional recipes such as diorite stairs and the like. So I think that one would only be allowed to count recipes that would exist in general. Let's see, how are things going on out there? Well, nothing yet in there. I suppose. That's a skeleton, so we won't be breaking the door down because it's... Okay, I've got 8 charcoal now, and I've got a full set of coal. Alright. That's still... Actually, how about if I put into here everything I've made so far? Now, of course, I am going to need my pickaxe, but that'll at least help me to keep track of what I've done so far. Now, what else can I make? Now, stairs is a good thing that one can make, and we can make stairs out of... Actually, I did mention earlier about a boat, so I can make a boat out of acacia, and I could make a boat out of oak. Okay, good. And then we could use slabs. I may even be able to find a use for these things later on. Alright, and we've got some slabs which require that. And then we have stairs. Now, of course, we're going out through the low-hanging fruit at the moment. Good, and good on that. So let's plug that into there so far. 1, 2, 3, 3 sets of stairs, 3 sets of slabs, and a pair of boats. Of course, I won't be able to make another chest. Oh, of course, the chest itself is one, and of course, the furnace is another item in there. Now, let's see. Let's see if we can get down, because if we can get down to diamond level, actually, what we need is to get down to iron level. Gravel. Of course, if we get, if we get down to iron level, so we get some iron tools, that would be good. So we'll probably have to keep the stone tools for a while because we hope to eventually get to diamond tools. Usually in the MHC, I don't worry about diamond tools. Okay, I am going to bring a... Oh, yes, of course. Make a stone shovel. Okay, good. A stone axe. Yeah, I should make a full set of stone tools now. Okay, a stone axe. I already made the stone pickaxe. See, axe, pickaxe, a hoe. Very rarely would I worry about making a stone hoe if I've already got a wooden one, since I don't do too much farming in these things. So some people do quite a bit of farming. Alright, there you go. There you go. Now I have a full set of those tools. I'll keep... I don't need the hoe. I will keep the shovel with me. Yeah, I'll need the tools. And I will need the light. Good. And we put that right there. Alright, good. Digging time. See, is there anything I can do with gravel? We can make concrete, but that would need some dye. I saw some flowers out there, so getting some dye for concrete is easy enough, and there is some sand out there, so concrete powder. Let's see, if you get concrete powder, if you turn it into concrete, because concrete, full concrete is not made from the table, so I will say that I cannot count full concrete in that it's just a variation of the concrete powder, and that it's a form that has been made wet or something like that. Oh, but I think this is the end of the episode. Yes, it is daylight now. So that concludes our episode for today. Next time, we are hopefully will have the coordinates up, and maybe we could. Ooh, who knows what we can get? We'll see in the next episode of the Minecraft Parkour Challenge.